All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us tonight. This week, we are celebrating spring because spring just started 3 days ago on the 20th. So it's March and it's springtime, and we're super excited to have everybody with us today. It's getting nice and warm and beautiful outside. So, Miss Annette, I've heard this phrase that March comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb. What does that mean?
Well, in weather folklore, it states that there has to be a balance in nature. So if a month's weather is really cold and bad, it's roaring like a lion. So if that happens, the month should end with good weather, when meaning coming in gentle like a lamb. So March is the month that we see winter weather, which we say is the lion, and it changes into spring weather, which is the lamb. But the lion and the lamb, they tussle and they wrestle all month long. They have a lot of rain. Sometimes we get snow. Then we have the sun like we have today. So before Miss Toby reads a story about that to us, Miss Olivia is going to start us out with the opening song.
Alrighty, can everybody hear me okay? Alrighty.
Thumbs up.
If you're ready for a story, come sit down. If you're ready for a story, come sit down. Let's all gather near so everyone can hear. If you're ready for a story, come sit down.
Yay.
All right. Okie dokie. All right, so I'm going to share our first story with you. Let me pull it up here. Okay. Can everybody see?
Yep.
Let's see. All right. So this is In Like a Lion, Out Like a Lamb by Marion Dane Bauer, and it's illustrated by Emily Arnold McCulley. We'll see who the publisher is in just a sec. It is a holiday house book. In like a lion, out like a lamb. Ooh, that looks like some snowy weather like we just left behind, right? March comes with a roar. It rattles your window and scratches at your door. Uh-oh. It turns snow to mud, then tromps across your floor. Those are some big paw prints to clean up. I don't know how I feel about those. March comes with the winter clinging to his tail. He scatters sleet and sometimes even hail. Were you expecting spring? He snickers. Reach for your slickers. Slickers are like a rain jacket, if you don't know. I don't think we use that word very much around here. March comes with a pounce and a growl. Just step outside and hear him howl. If you howl back, will he go away? Not very likely. This lion means to stay and stay and stay. Sometimes it feels like it rains for a really long time. Then one soft morning, wind gives way to breeze. Buds pop out of trees. The air is full of chickadees and bumblebees. Oh, that's kind of how today's weather was. And the lion takes a whiff, a sniff, and lets out an enormous sneeze. Achoo! And guess who comes riding in, gliding in, striding in on that achoo? Do you see? Is that a lamb? So, where will the March lion go? Will he wander to and fro, defeated, lost, predicting frost? I don't know. Or will he sulk through the greening grass, eyes scheming, teeth gleaming, waiting for the lamb to pass? No, never. This fellow's much too clever. He finds himself a sunny spot. He stretches, yawns, and curls into a knot. And that rumbling noise you hear, never fear. The lion's done with roaring, and now he's snoring, at least until next year. Today, the lamb's in charge of grass and flowers, sunshine and showers, of babies small and large. In springtime, we see lots of baby animals around. Come, all you babies, just hear March sing. Bah, she says, bah, and bah again. It's spring. Achoo! Uh-oh. Those look like some summer bugs, don't they? So that is In Like a Lion, Out Like a Lamb. I hope you guys enjoy.
Yes, spring brings with it all kinds of things that we have that they bud and bloom. And if you can see Miss Meow Meow, while Miss Toby was reading, she put on her headband that has the flowers on it because she's so excited about spring. So we have leaves that are budding on the trees and plants and flowers blooming. So we have a song to share with you. It's called Sing a Song of Flowers. And Miss Toby is going to lead us in that song.
Okay. So Sing a Song of Flowers is to the same tune as Sing a Song of Sixpence, which is a very, very old song, like 1500 and something old song. So I will sing it to you. So sing a song of flowers, flowers all around. Flowers that are growing, growing in the ground. Flowers of every color, they look so pretty too. Red, pink, orange, and yellow, blue, and purple too. It's a pretty silly little song, but you can look it up. I believe it's on YouTube. Maybe we can share a link with you. But it's a song about spring.
Okay.
Yay.
Now, Miss Olivia has another. Yes.
It looks like Miss Olivia has stepped away. Oh, okay.
I'm
She
here,
stepped away for a
sorry.
second. She's back.
Miss Olivia has a book to share with you, and it's called When Spring Comes. So let's listen to Miss Olivia.
Yep. Oh, hold on. Let me share the screen. That would be helpful. Okie dokie.
Alrighty, When the Spring Comes by Kevin Henkes, illustrated by Laura Dronzek, and published by Green Willow Books. Thank you. Oh, those are some pretty flowers too. Before spring comes, the trees look like black sticks against the sky. Do you guys see the red birds? I think they're called cardinals. Those are some fun birds. We have tons of them. But if you wait, spring will bring leaves and blossoms. You can see little bunny rabbits. If you wait, spring will make leftover mounds of snow smaller and smaller and smaller until suddenly they're gone. Before springs come, the grass is brown. But if you wait, spring will turn it green and add little flowers. Look at the tiny mouse, too. If you wait, an egg will become a bird. A seed will start growing. Spring comes with sun, and it comes with rain, and more rain, and more rain. Do you like mud? Do you like puddles? I hope you like umbrellas. We got a dog splashing in the mud, too. Before spring comes, the garden is just dirt and empty. But if you wait, spring will push green shoots through the dirt to fill up the garden. I bet the bunny rabbits love the green. And spring will call out the pussy willows and new kittens too. Those are some cute kittens. Spring can come quickly or slowly. It changes its mind a lot. But when spring is finally here to stay, you will know it. There will be buds and bees and boots and bubbles. There will be worms and wings and wind and wheels. You will feel it. You will smell it. You will hear it. I wonder what you would hear. Probably some birds, maybe a dog barking. When spring is finally here to stay, you might think you are done waiting. But if you're not, now you have to wait for summer.
Thank you, Miss Olivia. That was fun to read. Like spring is always here. We're anxious for it to get here. We're eager for it to get here. But as soon as it starts getting warm, we start thinking about summer. So we're going to concentrate on spring for the next few weeks here. Okay, so our craft for this week, if you haven't stopped by the library yet, it's spring flowers, and it's a craft that we did just made out of paper plates, the small paper plates, and we made several different ones. On this one, I just cut the petals straight down and rounded them so that they looked like sunflowers and things like that. Then I just have one that I just cut and just left it like that. And then this is my favorite. This is the spiky one that I made by just cutting these into there so that it looks like this. So I really like that one too. So we're going to continue, and we talked about trees and we talked about flowers, but now there is another sign of spring that we want to share with you, and it is called spring peepers. The sound of frogs and toads. Here in West Virginia, we have 14 different varieties or species of the frogs and the toads, and you'll find them along the creeks, your ponds, and damp areas in the forest. After a heavy rain, you might even find them in big mud puddles. So they're just everywhere in the spring. So the basic difference between a frog and a toad is that frogs have longer legs for hopping, and they're smooth and they feel somewhat slimy when you pick them up. Toads, they have shorter legs because they prefer to crawl instead of hop, and they have dry, warty, bumpy skin. They have big bumps on their skin. So each of the species, they have a unique sound, and we have a fun book that I'm going to share with you that have some of these sounds in them. Of course, me as a human, I'm not very good at imitating these frogs. So when you get and it gets dark in your area, look for a water source, whether it's that puddle or that pond or a lake, and listen to what's going on. So the name of this book is One Frog Sang, and it is by Shirley Parento, illustrated by Cynthia Jabbar, and it's by Candlewick Press. All the frogs hunkered low while spring rain stormed by. Then when the night became still, can you see those little frogs there by the rock where Miss Toby has her hand? One big frog leaped onto a high garden wall, sucked in air, and blew out a song, kablurrup, kablurrup. Two tiny frogs joined in from a window pane, shrieking, preep, preep, in voices as loud as a crowd. Three young frogs sang ribbit, ribbit from a puddle in the middle of a path. That's what we're talking about when we talk about those little puddles after rain. Four spotted frogs sang chirp, chirp from a tree trunk hugging the bark. At night, sometimes you have to think, is that a bird or is that a frog? Five frogs sang rabeat from a bird bath where a mirror moon swam. Six green frogs chorused, read it from the mossy walls inside a wishing well. Seven frogs sang deep, blurrup, blurrup from the side of a road where it curved out of sight. Eight bullfrogs boomed, womp, womp, from water running dark beneath a bridge. We like the bullfrogs. Miss Toby and I have been trying our best at work to imitate them, and we just find it funny.
Mhm.
9 green frogs puffed out their throats to sing greet deep, like bumps on a log. 10 frogs trilled beep, beep from lily pads shining in a pool. Grunts and croaks, chirps and ribbits, low and deep, high and shrill. All the frogs sang for love until one car splashed down the wet street, wheels sloshing along the pavement. Then 10 frogs stopped peeping from the lily pads. 9 frogs kaplumped off the floating log. 8 frogs peeked from the dark beneath the bridge. Seven frogs plunged into the high grass without a rustle to show where they hid. 6 frogs hushed inside the mossy wishing well. 5 frogs crouched like stones on the bottom of the bird bath, and 4 frogs pretended to be part of the bark on a tree. Three frogs huddled in the puddle on the path. See the little one in the middle? He's kind of scared, and his mom doesn't know what to do. She has his arms around him. 2 frogs slipped down the glassy window pane, and 1 frog sprang from the high garden wall. The engine rumble faded, only the wind made a sound whispering across the grass. The moon wandered down on the stillness until one frog leaped onto the high garden wall and began to sing, kablurrup, kablurrup, and the end. Wasn't that a funny book? But actually in nature, there are all of those sounds the different frogs make, the different species. So sometimes it's hard to identify which frog is doing that, but if you go and research it more, you'll find out all of the different types of frogs that we have in West Virginia. So that's something for you all to look forward to if you'd like to. Okay.
I think we're almost to the end of the evening. So
Yes.
I'm gonna do our last announcements, and then Olivia's gonna close us out with a song and our library cheer. So make sure that you guys join up with us next week for Bunny Tales. We'll be talking about some bunny rabbits next week. And other than that, we hope you've had a fun evening. And I'm gonna turn it over to Miss Olivia.
Alrighty, time for the closing song. The more we read together, 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 the more we read together, the happier we'll be. For your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. The more we read together, the happier we'll be. Woo!
All right, everybody, unmute your mics. Are we ready for our library cheer? You guys, you might need to unmute yourself. All right, it looks like we got Miss Maggie and Miss Seiler. All right, ready? 1,
2, 3. Library.
Yay!
Thank you for being with us. Remember to stop by and get your craft kit if you haven't gotten it for this week.